and his good friend Skylar Mead down there at Troy. They coach together. So Drew, I'm sure you'll get into that a little bit here soon. But,
and friend of the pod.
Yeah,
he was
friend of the
he was
pod.
one
He
of the
was
first guests we had on the bullpen.
Yeah,
Yeah, Skylar.
we could almost throw that interview back out there.
Yeah, I actually went through yesterday at the gym and threw that interview on and listened to him. And he actually, in one of his post-game press conferences, he mentioned, I'm blanking on it now. There was something where he said the same thing about his team 2 years ago or last year that he did now, and it's kind of the same mentality that they always have. And basically, I'm mad that I can't think of it right now, but it's something that he learned from your guys' coach at EIU when you guys coached together. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tyler? Or you're shaking your head like you might?
So if it's the same quote, because me and Drew were actually talking about it, it was like the post game presser from Monday night when they took down Florida, and it was something about how it's Jimmy Schmitz, who you guys coached under at EIU, and he said like it's really easy to coach the dudes.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
And it's, can you coach the last guy up on your roster to be good or something. Drew, you probably know about it. I'm probably butchering it, but
that's the gist of it. Yeah, like how good can you make the last player on your team type of thing. And I think it was really like evident with Troy this year, just like the Jay Boroff guy who was hitting 130 in like early May and ends up winning regional MVP. But yeah, no, I was thinking like just throwing out that interview could be cool. And then even Ryan Copeland at NIU with what they did this year, I thought our interview with him was really good. Thought he made a ton of just really good points and was a good talk, was a good conversation. And it was really fun watching NIU. And I mean, all these area schools making noise in the regionals. Like to me, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, what they did up there was awesome. And that's just a team full of Wisconsin guys. Man, they were in the driver's seat for a while. So UIC making a regional, which we need to get Coach McDermott on here. He'd be an awesome interview as well. So, no, that was just something I was thinking, Gavin. But definitely glued to the TV last weekend with the regionals going on all over the place. I thought, like anybody out there, if you're a baseball fan, man, you need to be checking out college baseball and those regionals because the atmosphere, the talent was through the roof. The arms that some of these teams are throwing out there, the physicality of some of those offenses too. I just thought it was a really good watch. I was kind of glued into the Oregon State game the other night, and that place up there at Oregon was going nuts. Like that atmosphere there was one of the cooler atmospheres. And getting back to Troy winning the regional, like just really, really interesting how they now get to host a super because they're going to be playing Little Rock, who's a 4 seed. And I would recommend just, taking a peek at that atmosphere that they're going to have at Troy because that place is going to be going nuts. Kind of reminds me of how Louisville got to host a regional way back in the day before they kind of became the powerhouse that they were there for a little while. They were having to like bring in, portable bleachers and all kinds of like stands to fit the entire town of Louisville wanted to come out to that regional. But yeah, sorry for getting long-winded there. It's been really cool to watch college baseball and these guys and Mississippi State doing what they're doing and the Valentis brothers and Jack Bauer getting some love. I mean, Cameron Appenzeller threw for Tennessee. I mean, the list goes on and on. Cincinnati was playing in a regional with Enzo, and I think Cal Sefcik hit a home run as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of Illinois flavor out there across the college landscape doing big things.
Yeah, a couple notes that I had that I wanted to mention. Northern Illinois, they finished their season 36-19. They beat Coastal Carolina in their first game, and then they ended up losing to St. John's and Florida State, so they were bounced from the playoffs. But on the season, program record wins with 36. They won their first MAC title, and Tyler, you might have mentioned it last week, but it's their first and last MAC title, and then they also won their first NCAA tournament, or had their first NCAA tournament win. So congrats to NIU on their season, and then Illinois-Chicago. They finished 27-29-1. They made the Atlanta Regional, and they lost to Georgia Tech and the Citadel. So awesome stuff there from those two Illinois teams, but that's what I had for some of these college notes.
Yeah, another note I see we got on here, came across it this morning, but shout out to Coach McBride over at Brother Rice, earned his 200th win on Saturday. We interviewed him at IHSBCA. He's always a great guy to talk to, whether you go to a game at Brother Rice or you just see him around at, IHSBCA or whatever. So, want to shout him out. That's a great accomplishment. I'm sure there's many, many more to come for him.
No, I was just perusing pro ball here as these guys are really starting to get into the middle of their kind of early middle of their season, summertime, and Ryan Sloan had a big outing in the Mariners system there. 6 innings, no hits, no walks, 11 Ks, and what kind of blew me away was he did it on 61 pitches. The efficiency you have to go 6 innings and strike out 11 guys and only go 61 pitches is pretty remarkable. Owen Murphy up at AAA with the Braves, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks. To see him kind of doing his thing at that AAA level, one step away from the big leagues, gets me really excited. I cannot wait to see if and when he gets called up to the big league club. I know there's a lot of good starters that the Braves have, so who knows when that time will come. And then I saw George Wolkow, still a young prospect with the White Sox, heating up. Kind of been getting into his power the last couple weeks. And that's good to see because it's crazy. I feel like he was drafted a handful of years ago, and I want to say he's still only like 22 years old. So there's still like way more development to come. And if he starts, really increasing his bat to ball, the power is some of the best we've seen come through Illinois in a while. So excited to see George Wolkow heating up. And then Gavin, the one thing I want to mention was on Tuesday of this week, we had the Illinois Rising Stars game. So we run our whole circuit of Illinois Rising Stars, IDs in March here in Illinois. We do run one in February as well. Take some of the standouts from those events, invite them to this Rising Stars game, showcase them in the morning, and then they each get to play a game. And I was really impressed. Like overall with the depth of the talent, just a ton of good players in there. And then a lot of standouts as well. Just some guys that, back when I was growing up, like you don't see kids built like this. Like there are some physical guys that look like they could easily be seniors in high school that were in attendance. A lot of really good arms. Like no crazy velo, but I liked a lot of the movers on the mound. And then a lot of barrels. A lot of barrels coming out of these guys. Aggressive swings, some good defense, especially on the infield. Some good actions. Like I think we've got a couple future shortstops that are going to be like high-level Division I follows. I know that's getting ahead of ourselves here in 8th grade going into their freshman year, but they've got the actions, they've got the body type. Like a lot of them are just going to continue to get better. So really helped us as far as a junior future game standpoint with identifying some of these guys. And then we'll parlay that into this weekend where we're going to be up floating around the rock, watching 13U, 14U guys, seeing some more of the same players that we saw on Tuesday and really identifying who we're going to bring down to Georgia for this Team Illinois at that 14U level. Because last year was one of the best teams we had ever brought, I think is the right way to say it. And I want to build off that. Made a run in the playoffs last year down there in bracket play. And I think with what we saw yesterday, like the talent is there. So we'll start to fill out that lineup here in the near future. And I'm excited. It got me excited for Georgia. And I know we've been in the process of choosing this future games team ever since the winter. All of our preseason IDs are all states, and then you guys crushing the spring coverage with cross-checking all these guys. So feeling really good about where we're getting for the big future games. And now it's let's pay attention to these 14Us as well. So good start to the summer too. It kicks off the summer with all of our events.